think they can compete with the best combatants in all of Maldraxxus? Ha! I'll believe it when I see it! Either way, this should prove entertaining! Bring in the challengers!
Good fortune to our friends. Many deals for a friend of the Grumbles, like you.
Strength means everything to the Maldraxxi. Prove that none can match you in the arena.
I have many wares. Many deals for a friend of the Grumbles, like you.
Damn. Ruin this dude's key. I don't know, dude. I don't think he was pointing them fucking. I think he was pointing them wrong too, dude. I never take that kind of damage.
Hey everyone, Tactics here with my final dungeon guide of Season 2, where making a return from Shadowlands, we have the Theater of Pain. In this video, I'll take you through all the changes the dungeon has seen going into Season 2, and give you guys some tips and tricks to help you deal with the various abilities that you'll encounter throughout it. If you're looking for guides just like this one for the other dungeons this season, I've got you covered. Check them out over on my channel or linked down in the description below. Plus, I've got a ton more stuff coming over the next few weeks, including Keystone Legend route walkthroughs with commentary to help you get that brand new 3K rating mount, Liberation of Undermine raid boss guides, and much more. So make sure you are subscribed to the channel so you don't miss out. Otherwise, let's hop right into it with a few trash mobs you'll face before the first boss. Most of these aren't super interesting. There's a mob that gets an enrage, which you can soothe, and there's a caster, which you can keep interrupts on. But the big one is the Raging Bloodhorn. This guy has a single ability in Raging Tantrum, which is another enrage effect, but this also deals heavy group damage over 4 seconds. So you want to make sure that if you have a soothe in your group, they are focused on soothing this mob as quickly as possible. There's really only the one trash pack before the first boss, so that brings us to the boss itself. We're going to be taking on 3 of them simultaneously, and you'll want to cleave them down relatively evenly here, as the remaining bosses gain a stack of Final Will, increasing their damage when one of them dies. Also, beware of the combatants that surround the arena, as they will hit players that get too close, knocking them back slightly in the process, so make sure you steer clear of them. For abilities, let's start with Sathel. We want to keep an interrupt rotation on for his Necromantic Bolt to help reduce the damage that your tank is taking. There's also magic debuffs that he throws out with Withering Touch, which targets 2 players at a time. Healers want to make sure they dispel one of these players quickly, and then the second once their dispel is back off cooldown, or use other forms of magic debuff removal if you have them. At full energy, Sathel will debuff all players with Searing Death, dealing shadow damage that splashes to other players within 3 yards. So you want to make sure that you are loosely spread to avoid this splashing, and use a defensive if you're taking other damage at the same time, like for example, if you have the Withering Touch dot. Moving on to Passerin, you want to watch out for his random target Decaying Breath Frontal, as this will deal lethal damage to anyone it hits. His full energy ability is Noxious Spores, which spawns puddles under every player 3 times over 6 seconds, so you'll want to do your best to cluster these in one part of the arena to ensure that you don't run out of space. I recommend initially pulling the boss towards the entrance of the arena where you come in, and then rotating around as a group either clockwise or counterclockwise, whatever you decide, as the area fills with puddles. Finally, we have Desia, who has the tank hit Immortal Strike, also leaving behind a nasty healing reduction for 5 seconds. So tanks, you want to make sure you have a defensive running for this, especially if Sathel gets any bolt casts off around the same time. Other than that, Desia has the Mighty Smash group hit at max energy, and this also slows players. So once again, you want to use a defensive here if you're ever taking any other form of damage at the same time, just to make sure you survive that hit. After defeating the bosses, you'll be able to jump down. Well, you'll have the choice of 3 different wings, each with different trash mobs. To start, we're going to head towards Zav the Unfallen, where there are a couple important mobs spread throughout this wing. The first, the Shambling Arbalist. These guys will do random target damage and shoot, but they'll also put out a nasty bleed debuff in Jagged Quarrel. So if you are targeted by this, you'll want to use a defensive, or if you have them, a bleed cleanse. Later on in this wing, there is a single Ancient Captain as well, whose commanding presence is very dangerous, as it causes all mobs to deal extra damage, as well as take significantly less damage from AoE abilities. So you need to specifically focus this mob down so you can kill the rest of the pack, and make sure you keep kicks on its demoralizing shout ability to prevent you from getting a damage reduction. Outside of the regular mobs in this wing, there's also 3 sets of dueling mini-bosses, where the victor is randomly chosen as you approach them, meaning you'll need to fight a total of 3 mini-bosses that could vary from run to run, assuming you don't skip them. To make this a bit easier, most of these mini bosses have similar ability sets, often using a tank buster ability, an AoE hit, and an avoidable frontal or circle. That being said, one ability I do want to specifically point out is Ricocheting Blade, which is used by both Harugia the Bloodthirsty and Advent Nevermore. This ability targets a random player, dealing physical damage and applying to bleed to them and anyone else within 5 yards of them. The big tip I have here is that this ability can actually be line of sighted by the target, preventing it entirely. So if you get either of these mini bosses, you can tank them on one of the nearby stairs to allow players to easily step out of sight and avoid the hit. If you do end up getting hit by this ability, just make sure you use a defensive or a bleed cleanse if you have it, and you'll be okay. Once you've gotten past all 3 mini bosses, you'll be faced with Zav himself, who throughout the encounter will spawn oppressive banners that stack up a 15% slow on all players as long as it lives. After these spawn, I recommend dragging the boss over to one of them and cleaving these banners down, as the slow can be quite dangerous if it's still active during the Might of Maldraxxus combo. When this ability happens, the boss jumps to the center of the arena, damaging all players and beginning a random combination of 3 abilities. Deafening Crash does a 12-yard AoE around the boss and interrupts casters. Massive Cleave is a random target frontal that targets half of the room at a time, and Crushing Slam is a random target line attack. So make sure you are ready to avoid all potential combinations of these abilities, as they deal extremely high, usually lethal damage if they hit you. When the boss reaches 100 energy, he'll use Blood and Glory, throwing 2 random DPS players into the pit below to duel each other. Upon completion of the duel, the players return to the boss arena with full health, and the winner gains a 10% damage increase, while the loser instead gets a 10% damage decrease. If one of the dueling players has cooldowns available, they can have the other player sit down or turn their back to them, so you can quickly end this duel just for slight damage optimization. But generally here, the main goal is to just end this duel as fast as possible so you can get back to the boss and deal damage to those banners and the boss itself. So don't use things like defensives or health bots down here, or do if you really need to prove that you're the best duelist. I can't tell you what to do. Outside of that, tanks are going to be taking damage from the brutal combo channel, so make sure you are ready with defensives when this happens. Next up, we'll go to the Kultharok wing, where you'll need to traverse several different platforms using shadowy gates. Sometimes these gates take you to a set location, but there are also 2 gates that give you the choice of going to a nearby left or right platform, which is chosen by depositing a shadowy orb on the side of the gate which you want to travel in. These orbs are always dropped by Portal Guardian mobs, which we'll talk about in a second here, so just make sure someone grabs these after you defeat them. In terms of which direction I recommend you go in, I always recommend choosing the rightmost path. Now let's talk mobs, where the first mob you'll encounter in this wing are the Shackled Souls. They just have a single channeled cast and Bind Soul. It's a random target channel that deals shadow damage over the course of it, so use interrupts or CCs to stop this from happening. Then we have the previously mentioned Portal Guardians, who deal some pretty heavy shadow damage in the form of Soul Storm, so you want to make sure healers are prepped for this. And they also have a debuff in Shadow Vulnerability, which causes players to take additional shadow damage. So if you have this and you don't have a curse spell to remove it, you'll want to make sure that you press a defensive when Soulstorm happens. Moving along, we have Bone Maguses. These guys start with a Bone Shield for 50% of their health. So if you have a Purge or Spell Steal, use it here to eliminate 50% of their health immediately. Other than that, they will spam cast on random players, but they also have an important cast in Bone Spear, so you want to make sure you have every Bone Spear interrupted, and then use Spare Kicks on their other Grave Spike cast. Maniacal Soulbinders are also a random target caster in this area, and they also have an important kick in Necrotic Bolt Volley, so again, make sure that is always kicked, and then you can throw Spare Kicks on their Necrotic Bolt. A mini boss in this area is the Soul Forged Bone Reaver. This guy spawns a lot of 3-yard circles on the ground, so you want to make sure you step out of those, and occasionally he'll do a whirlwind attack in Bone Storm while he also is moving at the same time, so you want to make sure that you give this mini boss some space when this ability happens. The other lieutenant mob in this area is the Nefarious Dark Speaker. This guy just spam casts into the tank, so if you have Spare Kicks, you can use it on the Spirit Frost cast. Otherwise, the Maniacal Soulbinder and the Bone Magus are more important. Other than that, there's a random target line attack in Deathwinds, which you want to make sure you avoid, as it has a significant knockback attached to it, and you're playing on a relatively small platform here, so if you get hit by it, you are going off the edge for sure. Other than that, there's just a random target curse in Curse of Desolation, which drops a 3-yard circle underneath you every few seconds, so you want to make sure you're avoiding that. And again, if you have a curse spell, send it to remove this debuff. After jumping between enough platforms, you'll eventually get to Kultharok, who has seen a rework going into this season and is a stationary boss who sits in the center of his room. Just be careful not to step too far inside the boss's hitbox, as there is a puddle underneath him that deals heavy damage to any players that stand in it. In general, you'll want to be loosely spread out for this fight, as throughout the encounter, 2 players get randomly debuffed with the Well of Darkness dot, which also splashes other players within 4 yards. This is the main source of damage on this fight, so targeted players can use a defensive to help smooth out their damage intake. To force a bit of movement, the boss has the Death Spiral ability, which spawns several orbs that rotate around the arena and deal heavy damage to players they touch. For ranged, it's easier to stay near the edge of the platform, as these orbs take longer to do a full rotation around the room, while melee will just need to do a bit of a dance bouncing in and out of range of the boss for the orbs around the center of the room. At full energy, the boss uses Draw Soul, which deals ticking damage to all players for 8 seconds and then spawns a Lost Soul at their location. If these adds ever reach the boss, they will explode for heavy shadow damage, so when this cast starts, all players want to group up near the edge of the boss platform and drop them together, where you can then use CCs and AoE damage to lock them down while you cleave them. For healers, this is the damage event you want to make sure that you have some healing or defensives prepped for, as this hits the entire group. Other than that, you want to keep an interrupt order on the random target necrotic bolts that the boss casts just to reduce your overall group damage, and tanks will want to use a defensive and make sure that they point the line attack from necrotic eruption away from the rest of your party. And that brings us to the final wing of the dungeon, which is a lot more disease focused. To start, we have the diseased horror mobs, and these guys mostly hit the tank with a decaying strike. This is a pretty heavy mixed hit that also applies a disease to you, which reduces your max health. So having a disease spell in this area is very, very nice. Make sure you do press defensive for that as well. They'll also occasionally channel up a heal, so use CCs or interrupts on that meat shield cast. Blighted Sludge Spewers are the important interrupt in this area, and they have the Withering and Discharge attack. This is a AoE hit on your entire party that also applies an extremely nasty disease that decreases damage and healing done by 20%, so you want to make sure every single one of these casts is interrupted, and then you can use Spare Kicks on their Decaying Filth cast, which is a random target hit and disease. These mobs also occasionally will leap to random players, dealing a 4-yard AoE, so while you're in this area, you do want to make sure that you are loosely spread. In a similar fashion, Disgusting Refuse have the same leap attack, and also on death they will drop a puddle on the ground, which also applies that same 20% damage and healing reduction disease to it, so make sure you are avoiding these puddles. The Putrid Butcher is another tank mob in this area, and they have the Devour Flesh attack. There's a fizz hit on the tank that also heals the mob for a 300% of the damage it deals, so you want to make sure that you press a defensive when this is coming out, and it will heal the mob for less. The big, scary Lieutenant mob in this area are the Rancid Gas Bags, and these guys do passive damage every 2 seconds to the entire group, so healers will want to be aware of that. And their main ability is Vile Eruption, which is a frontal attack at a random player that also shoots out a cone directly behind the mob as well, so you want to make sure you avoid this, as it will deal heavy damage and disorient anyone hit for 3 seconds. Other than that, this mob will occasionally spawn circles under a couple random players, which you just need to avoid. Once you've made your way down this final wing, you'll be able to take on Gore Chop, where the main mechanic of this encounter are the meat hooks that the boss intermittently calls to sweep across the arena. These hooks can appear on either side of the room and always move in 2 distinct waves, with the first having 2 small safe openings and the second with the rest of the arena being safe. These hooks will also apply Jagged Gash and drag any player's hit across the room, so you really want to make sure that you dodge through the safe spaces in these. Shoots out a cone directly behind the mob as well, so you want to make sure you avoid this, as it will deal heavy damage and disorient anyone hit for 3 seconds. Other than that, this mob will occasionally spawn circles under a couple random players, which you just need to avoid. Once you've made your way down this final wing, you'll be able to take on Gore Chop, where the main mechanic of this encounter are the meat hooks that the boss intermittently calls to sweep across the arena. These hooks can appear on either side of the room and always move in 2 distinct waves, with the first having 2 small safe openings and the second with the rest of the arena being safe. These hooks will also apply Jagged Gash and drag any player's hit across the room, so you really want to make sure that you dodge through the safe spaces in these waves to avoid that extra damage. On top of the hooks, every time they appear, the boss also summons 2 oozing leftover mobs. These abominations slowly lose health over time and have the same leaping thrash ability you saw in the trash before, so make sure you are loosely spread to prevent that from cleaving. Or if you're quick, you can actually use a long-term CC on these mobs and just watch them tick down in the corner. These mobs also leave behind a large puddle of coagulating ooze on death, so if possible you want to try and cleave these mobs down together to conserve space, which will make avoiding those hooks a bit easier. Other than that, there's some forced movement from Tenderizing Smash, which grips in all players and then does a lethal AoE around the boss after a few seconds, so be ready to use mobility spells and move away when this happens, especially if it overlaps with hooks. For tanks, there's the Hateful Strike ability, which is a large physical hit that you'll just want to make sure you have a defensive up for. After defeating all of the bosses indoors, you can head back out to the first boss room, where you'll now be able to take on more Dretha. Just like during the initial boss fight, combatants surround the arena and knock back players that touch them, so you want to make sure you avoid getting too close. In terms of things you'll need to avoid on this fight, there's a couple to be aware of. The first is Dark Devastation, which is a random target frontal attack that then rotates slightly as the boss channels it, so make sure you give this ability a lot of space. The other is the Grasping Rift ability, which spawns somewhere randomly in the room and pulls players towards it for 6 seconds, stunning anyone who gets too close with a cursed debuff. When this happens, you want to use movement abilities to avoid that debuff from happening, especially if the rift spawns on top of or very close to your group. For tanks, there's the dangerous tank hit in Reaping Scythe, which deals a mixture of shadow and physical damage, and is by far the most dangerous tank hit in the dungeon, so you really want to make sure you have a good defensive rotation to cover every single cast of this ability. When it comes to group damage, most of that comes from Manifest Death, which applies a dot to all players and then splashes anyone within 6 yards after it expires. This explosion also spawns a Death Walker ad under each player, and these mobs just spam Death Bolt on random players, so you want to make sure you keep them interrupted. I recommend having a loose spread here to avoid cleaving, and then once the ads spawn, everyone kicks their own ad to group them up under the boss, and then you can use things like AoE CCs and cleave them under the boss to maximize damage. After pushing the boss to 50% health, she will begin casting Echoes of Carnage, which deals a large hit of shadow damage after it completes, followed by a small pulse of shadow damage every 2 seconds for the remainder of the encounter. This is the largest individual group hit of the fight, so you want to make sure you have either some personal defensives or group defensives running for when this cast finishes. On top of dealing group damage, this also causes ghostly combatants to spawn throughout the arena for the rest of the encounter, which you'll have to deal with on top of all of the previous mechanics we just discussed. These combatants come in 2 different forms. One is the Echo of Battle, which are just 8-yard AoEs that can kind of spawn anywhere throughout the arena, and the other is Ghostly Charge, which are 4 line attacks that shoot across the arena from mounted combatants that charge just straight through, and you want to make sure you keep an eye on them and move away from their path. That is it for this video and this guide series.
Okay. Let's retry that. Well, I got 7. Oh, 7. Fucking sick.
wanderer. I have many, many wares.
Okay, let's try attempt number 2. Damn, that was a lot of fucking damage all around it. I don't think, no way, that should have been taking that much.
Strength means everything to the Maldraxi. Prove that none can match you in the arena.
Alrighty. Good one.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome, one and all, to the theater of pain! It seems these upstarts think they can compete with the best combatants in all of Maldraxxus! I'll believe it when I see it! By the way, this should prove entertaining! Bring in the challengers!
So much better, dude. I don't know what the hell the other guy was doing, but not doing it right. What the fuck did I miss, dude? I don't know what the fuck I missed, dude. What the fuck am I missing, dude? What the fuck am I missing? second time, dude. I get his fucking one shot, dude. I don't even know. I'm bad, dude. I fucking hate this map, too. These guys got those out of fucking here, dude.
I have many lives.
How unexpected! It seems our little pups have some bite after all. The real trial can begin!
It's too far away.
What the fuck, dude? One. Yeah. The fuck, dude? PvE fucking bitches. Yeah. Well, I gotta get done for my mouth. Apparently I got a stack on the fucking tank. Oopsie doopsie.
Strength means everything to the Maldraxi. Prove that none can match you in the arena.
Spells. Fucking 6. All I need. Ah. There we go. I need a +6. Me and my PvE noobness.
Strength means everything to the Maldraxi. Prove that none can match you in the arena.
Not coming in. Dude, repair bots.
Welcome, one and all, to the theater of pain! It seems these monsters think they can compete with the best combatants in all of Maldraxxus! Ha! I'll believe it when I see it! By the way,
Overcome this trial.
Well, that went smoother.
Unexpected! It seems our little pups had some fight after all. Now, the real trial can begin!
Mortal lives are so fleeting, so fragile. Resist. Yes, resist. And yet, the void still.
I can dispel curse.
assault. Resist. Yes. Resist. And yet, the void still grows. Overcome this trial. Win my favor.
Our challengers have passed the first trial.
Okay.
Still a long way to
I don't know if I'm just learning it or something. I don't. I'm doing a lot better. I didn't die yet. Shouldn't be much difference between a 6 and a fucking 8 though. Or whatever we're on.
fresh meat.
Resist. Yes. Resist. And yet, the void still grows.
Oh shit. Fuck me.
Overcome this trial. Win my favor.
About that. That wasn't too hard. I don't know why they skip them all the time. Guess because you can. Ooh, baby.
Overcome this trial.
Catch something. Pieces.
Overcome this trial.
Another trial down. Looks like we might have some real contenders here. New challenges. Ha! We'll see how long you can last.
Resist. Yes. Resist. And yet, the void still burns. Overcome this trial.
Dang. I fucked that up, didn't I?
Overcome this trial.
Ooh.
You had best make this interesting.
Overcome this.
Fuck that up.
Oh, good. Incredible! Our challengers have conquered the trials and advanced to the final round! Return to the central chamber! It's time to begin the main event!
Hell yeah. A lot better this round. I don't know if it's because of a different tank or what.
Soldiers of Maldraxxus! Are you ready for some carnage? A rising stars now face the longest reigning champion of the Empire has ever known! Ordretha, the Endless Empress!
At long last, a worthy contender! Behold my power and despair!
I missed the first test.
Stands. For now.
Yes! Moldretha has been defeated! I can hardly believe it! All hail the new champions of the arena! Victory and glory are yours! May you fight forever! More walkers!
Many deals for a friend of the Grummles. Like you.
don't know. I might be back to PvP now. Did most of those with 6 and 7. Got my 2000. Fucking A. Got them out. Pretty happy with myself. We'll grab a drink, smoke, and I'll be back. Give me a few minutes. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. Oh yeah. Man, I can do PvP again. Oh, this is a cool fun. Well worth the weekend of PD. Oh, I'm taking Prince. In my view, bro. Print screen. Boom, 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 boom. Hell yeah. "24 blue babies." I don't know if I could do 3,000 IO. Learn this shit a lot better. Died a few times. Well, should I try to up my skill to 9s or 10s? Try Dark Flame again. I don't know. Dark. Or I could PvP. Hell yeah.
How fare you?
Before the level. Six. belt. Don't need more low level ones to upgrade it. +2 to +6. +7's not good though.
If needed, I will answer the call. Honored to meet you.
I think I just need new gear. 7 and above. I really don't know PvE well. More gear.
Go carefully.
Well, let's do some 7 above, Bobby. See if we can get some gear. Yeah. I don't know that answer. I think I might be done with PvE if I can't get any more gear. Guess I can farm cress. Yeah, but proper dungeon. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, not a ball. That's stupid. Can't just keep on getting gear. I gotta Google that. Oh. I gotta replace my shoulders. My belt. My back. Neck. Ugh. This. What do I need? I need belt. Belt. Megatron Workshop. Okay. Till I get the belt. Megatron. Um, or Mechagon. Tron. Should I have that? That's why I'm here.
To prevent my father from eradicating all organic life, we need to gain entry into his subterranean fortress city. Luckily, the flying mechanical terror that patrols this region has a control module that can open the gates. Assaulting it head-on would be ill-advised, but disabling its remote power node should render it vulnerable. The nodes are scattered throughout the junkyard. I've calibrated my sensors to detect them when you're in proximity.
So we're gonna root around through the garbage, looking for nodes that may not even be there? All while avoiding a flying death machine.
Let's see what we can do.
In order to stop my father, we need to infiltrate the city itself. And that means passing through the Robodrome.
Wait, what's this? Some surface dwellers have unwittingly stumbled into the arena! A word of caution to anyone sitting in the splash zone. Watch out for blood!
Resist. Yes. Resist. And
Now this is a statistical anomaly. Our visitors are still alive. Time to introduce them to the legends of the Tussle Talks Arena! The Platinum Pummeler! And no mercy for you!
The city's entrance is located just past this arena. You must hold your ground until we can clear a path to them.
No sweat, pal. I'm putting 20 large on no mercy.
But if they win, won't we be dead?
If I didn't bet on a sure thing, then I ain't really living.
overcome this trial. Overcome this trial. Then
Come on, baby.
overcome this trial.
Fuck me. What the hell are they attacking me for? I want them in the back.
Overcome this trial.
I fucked up, didn't I?
I knew I should have walked you earlier.
Yeah, I fucked up.
More trash for the incinerator.
I fucked up.
You're not even worth recycling.
I fucked that up. my fault.
Sick 'em, boys! Look out below! I knew I should have walked you earlier! Look out below!
Over.
It's playtime! I knew I should have walked you earlier! Look out below! It's playtime! I knew I should have walked you earlier! Look out below! It's playtime! I knew I should have walked you earlier! Look out below! What have you done? You monster!
Oh, I fucking hate this
It'll
one.
take me weeks to rebuild him!
Warning. Excessive levels of flesh detected. Warning.
Attention, citizens! Please remain in your domiciles. So, you dismantled a few of my lesser inventions. Let us see how you fare against something more advanced.
Overcome this trial.
So, you possess a modicum of skill. It will prove insufficient against my newest prototype.
Fuck me, dude. Res me, res. It's not.
Warning. Excessive levels of flesh detected. Warning.
Take 2 seconds to hear the fucking beast, huh? The fuck? How do I get in there? Nope, wrong way. I don't know how to fucking get there, dude. Trying to fucking... Oh, where? I'm too... I fucking came up, right? I have no idea. Only way I fucking see my boss. And I don't think this is it.
Warning. Excessive levels of flesh detected. Warning.
I don't know how the fuck to get there, dude. I don't see how the fuck to get there, dude. Ah.
Overcome this trial. When
Damn.
Commandeer that transport to access Mechagon's tower.
So, my misguided son returns. I'm impressed you made it this far.
You are no longer my father. Just a malfunctioning machine that must be shut down.
Poor child. If only you could accept the truth. The curse of flesh has run rampant across Azeroth, and I will replace it with mechanical purity.
overcome this.
You cannot elude my targeting system. Oblige. Cannon fully charged. Magnetic grapple. Fully charged. All power to weapons.
Sorry about that, guys. I see that.
Magnetic grapple engaged.
Overcome this trial. Then our stands for now.
My fault.
The mech originator has been destroyed. And so has my father. You have my gratitude, heroes. Know that King Mechagon's vision of the world is not one my people share. We must now focus on rebuilding. But if you ever require our assistance, you need only request it.
Huh. This partnership wasn't that bad. Reminds me how profitable working with you Alliance mooks can be.
Thanks to Team Master Overspark's leadership, the threat of world annihilation was averted.
Oh, don't forget to mention my technical prowess in dismantling those mechanical monstrosities.
Of course, sir.
You buying or selling? Plenty more where that came.
Damn!
I have many lucky doos you like. May your feet find good trails.
Well, I think that might be it for now, and I'll be on later. Yep. That better. My current shit. 2. 49. Need a belt. Maybe not. Upgrade. Do you need chest? Shoulder. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. later. Yeah, PvP boy. Learn how to PvE slowly but surely. So that's what I like. Soul.